We've been sold a lie that life should be easy, that if it's hard, we must be doing something wrong, that pain is a glitch, that suffering is something to avoid at all costs. But what we don't realize is that anything worth doing is hard, right? We chase easy, like it's the goal. We chase shortcuts. We avoid discomfort. We want the reward, but we don't want the work. We want healing, but not the pain that comes before it. I'll tell you what easy never gave me. Easy never gave me strength. Easy never gave me gratitude. Easy never gave me a life I actually respect, because the things that matter, the things that actually change you, they come from the hard stuff. Do you think it was easy to kick a drug habit? Really? Do you think it was easy to wake up every single day wanting to die, not knowing how I was going to make it through the next hour, not knowing where I was going to get the money or who I was going to have to be that day, how I was going to get enough drugs to survive the day? You think that was easy? Do you think it was easy to detox over and over and over again? Sometimes in strange places around people I didn't know, right? Feeling like I was losing pieces of myself every single time. Do you know what it feels like to be sliced open just by existing? Have you ever had your skin burn with nothing touching it? Feeling like razors are slicing you open, your bones aching, like they want to escape your body, not being able to control your bowels or your stomach or any of that? And if you don't, consider yourself lucky, grateful, because even now, 14 years later, I do not forget what that feels like. I remember every feeling. You know, getting clean wasn't one moment of clarity. It wasn't one decision. It was years of failure, years of not surrendering, years of convincing myself I stop tomorrow. It was humiliating. It was messy. It was definitely not honest. And I didn't become strong because I wanted to. I became strong because I had to, because I didn't want to die somehow in there. I just didn't know how to live. I can still go back sometimes to those nights in a detox, lying in bed, a bed that wasn't mine, under these disgusting sheets, and there's people all around you suffering as well, maybe throwing up in the bathroom. My legs are kicking off my body. Like, just, I want to cut them off. My skin is crawling and I feel like there's razors slicing my arms. And I remember thinking, if this is living, I don't want any of it. But somewhere in that, there were moments where I'd hear a voice, and it wasn't my voice because my voice wanted to die, but this voice told me, like, you're not done yet. Right. And I think that's sometimes what saved my life, because if it was up to me, I'd be dead. People don't always see what it takes, right? They see like before and after photos. They see, you look like shit and now you look good, but they don't see the middle. We don't take photos of the middle. We don't take photos of the work, the days where joy pretty much feels foreign, right? Nights where you feel like a broken shell of a person and you still get up the next day anyway. They don't see the hours you spend fighting thoughts, so many thoughts, right? They don't see the shame, the rebuilding, the forgiveness. They don't see the days you sit in rooms and you feel like you're all alone, even though you're surrounded by people. But we do it anyway. And it was worth it. Every miserable, sacred, hard second of it. Because without that story, without that struggle, I wouldn't have this life, right? I wouldn't have my family. I wouldn't have my son. I wouldn't have my home. I wouldn't have my job. I wouldn't have any of the things that I have. And most importantly, I wouldn't have peace. Hard comes in many forms. It's not just addiction. Maybe you're going through heartbreak. Maybe you're struggling financially. Maybe the fridge is empty. Maybe you're in a job that's killing your spirit. Maybe you're taking care of someone who doesn't even recognize you anymore. Whatever it is, if it's hard and it matters to you, don't give up. Because the version of you that exists on the other side of this pain, that version is stronger, wiser, and softer in the right places, sharper in other places. That version knows who they are, and you don't get that version without the hard. So no, hard is not the enemy. Hard is the beginning. Hard is the test. Hard is the thing that shapes you into someone you actually respect. Hard gives you something to say when someone else is falling apart. Hard gives you roots. Hard gives you substance. We don't need more easy, right? We need more people willing to sit with the hard, because in the end, hard is what makes it worth it.